everyone, my name is Sarah Penick, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite book series, Redwall, and what it means to me. I first encountered Redwall when I was like 7, and the cartoon was being aired for the first time in America on PBS, and I was in love with the series, I was in love with the show, and it was because of the adventures and the mice and the courage and the sword. I'm not gonna lie, the sword was pretty awesome. But, it was really bugging me that I was like, I only get it in like half an hour snippets, and I wanted more. And looking back, like, I was being pretty ignorant, but, I was really upset that this bald guy kept interrupting the story to talk for whatever reason. I didn't care. I just wanted the story to continue. That was actually Brian Jacques talking, and looking back and like watching it on Tubi and stuff, I'm not getting him talking, and I'm really sad because I don't remember what he was talking about. I just remember being grumpy that he was interrupting my story. And so my parents, probably when I was like 9, were asking me if I wanted more of the story, and I said, yeah, duh. And so they gave me the first book to read, Redwall. And I had only read like kids' mysteries and the Chronicles of Narnia. And so I was used to like Nancy Drew with, in like the first chapter, she got a death threat and the mystery's already there, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna go solve it. And the first chapter of Redwall's not like that. It's pretty chill and like showing the peace in Redwall before the bad guy comes, before Clooney comes. And I was like, this is stupid. And my parents were like, you're not allowed to say whether or not you like it until you've read the whole thing. And I was like, that's a stupid rule. And they're like, well, that's the rule, so deal with it. And so I was like, fine, freaks. And I read chapter 2. I got to chapter 2, 3, whatever, when Clooney shows up. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And so I continued reading it, and by the end, I was like, I really love this story. And so I told my parents, and they were like, well, we have some more. And so that's how I got started reading Redwall. From the time I was like 8 or 9 until I was like 20, I didn't have any friends. If anybody talked to me, they were criticizing me or making fun of me, or, yeah, just not being kind. And, I was traumatized during this time. I don't want to talk about that much, but, so I was just really alone, and, like, my parents weren't trying to understand. They were just like, get your homework done, you'll be fine, blah, blah, blah. And because I was homeschooled and I don't have any brothers or sisters, so I was literally alone, and my parents weren't trying to understand. They were just like, go do your homework. And yeah, and so I hid in books. Books were my happy place. And they were also my safe place. They were the place where I could hide from the pain I was feeling. And during, I've been learning, I'm in college right now, and I've been learning that, like, we need connection, we need interaction with people, or our brains go on survival mode, and we have the same psychological pain that we do when we're in physical pain. If that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, ask in the comments and I'll explain it. I'm better communicating with written words than spoken words. But, and I've also learned that, like, laughter helps get rid of stress hormones. And we laugh when we're connecting with people. Well, I wasn't connecting with anybody, so I didn't laugh. And I almost never smiled either. But, my cats made me laugh, because cats are crazy. They made me smile, and they made me feel loved when nobody was loving me. And Redwall made me laugh too. I was always, like, when the hares were just being ridiculous because they're hares, when the Dibbons were doing silly things, when the bad guys, like the little henchmen, were being complete morons, it made me laugh so hard. Like, it just made me laugh, genuinely laugh. And that wasn't something I did. And so Redwall became, like, my favorite place. I would pretend to be there. Like, I lived in my imagination, whether I was reading or drawing or pretending or playing with my toys. I lived in my imagination because reality was just too hard. And Redwall was my favorite place to be. It was like the only place I ever pretended to be, only fictional place I pretended to be. That wasn't like something I made up. Redwall was my favorite place to go to. And because of all those positive things, I think that's part of why it became my favorite book series of all time. It was my safe place. And I admire the characters, and I look up to them. They're my heroes, and I try to be like them, especially like the warriors like Martin and Matthias and Sunflash and Tyria. I try to be like them. And even like the really brave ones that like nobody remembers because they're super minor characters, like Ford Pedal, or the Sparrow Queen, Warbeak. Like, I want to be brave like them. And Redwall taught me how to be kind and how to have honor and just how to be a better person. And so, and it gave me a longing for friendship, an idea of what friendship should be like when I didn't really have that. So, all my memories of Redwall are of safety. It's my favorite place to be. I'm not constantly, but I reread the books a lot just because I enjoy the stories, I enjoy the courage and the adventure and the friendship and the riddles and the songs. And it was always my safe place. I never got to meet Brian Jacques. When he died in 2011, I didn't understand myself enough to be able to tell him these sorts of things. Like, I hadn't gotten to that place yet. This is the end of April 2021. I've been seeing my therapist, like, every week for 6 years, and I'm to a place where I'm healthy enough and I have enough self-awareness to be able to talk about this and put it into words. I didn't used to have that. And I regret not being able to tell Brian Jacques this. That, like, his stories helped save me. I think God put the Redwall and my cats in my life for a reason. So, yeah, those are my memories of Redwall. It was Redwall and my cats were the brightest places in my life when everything was so dark. I felt like I was dying. Forget the fact that I was suicidal, I felt like I was dying. Redwall and my cats were like bright points of light. So what about you? Do you have any, like, thoughts of Redwall about, any memories of Redwall? Like, something like that? Like my story? Do you have specific battles or feasts or riddles or whatever that's your absolute favorite? please talk about them in the comments. I'd love to have a conversation with the Redwall online community about this. Or not even the Redwall online community, that's the role-playing groups. Any Redwall fans, I want to have a conversation with y'all about this in the comment section. If you're not exactly a Redwall fan, what books or movies or TV shows were the same way for you? What memories do you have about them influencing your life? Yeah. So, talk about it in the comments. I would love to have a kind, friendly conversation about this with everybody. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, so that way the YouTube algorithms know to recommend it to other people. And if you want to see my next video about, I don't know what it's going to be about, but if you want to see it, feel free to subscribe. But no matter what, I hope you have a really good day. Bye!